Hello friends, my name is Olivia Heil of the blog Agrarian Schoolhouse. I want to talk to you about a few homeschooling tips and tricks. My preschooler is almost 4. You could say we've been at this about a year, but more seriously for just about the fall semester. So let's talk about this core knowledge text. It is by Core Knowledge. They have more resources online if you're interested, and this is what your preschooler needs to know. And this is to get ready for kindergarten. What I like about this text is that there are several different subjects: poems, songs, stories, history, science, and art. And what I like about this is that it's introducing age-appropriate content for students, for children at a young age, which is awesome for building your repertoire of homeschooling at this age. And you don't have to go exactly by this book. You have the content in here, right? So if you know that the gingerbread man is a part of the short stories, for example, then you can source several different versions of the gingerbread man from your local library that have really cool, neat artwork that are different variations of the story. You can talk about different variations of the gingerbread man and what's different about each story. There's like tons of things that you can do from a text like this. Can be a source text. You don't even have to use it directly. So for example, age appropriate poems, and they do have pretty cool illustrations. Here are your stories. This is a Little Red Hen. Again, you can use it as a source text for sourcing other materials, or a reference rather, for sourcing other materials. Cool illustrations. We haven't gotten into the science and history portions of this. We really enjoyed the songs, poems, and short stories. Realistic images here. There's diagrams here. And then they have art pieces in the back of the book. I think these would be really cool to have on separate cards or something to be able to reference and work through, or have them on bigger pieces of paper. Another example being, you can go to that section. So for example, the history section, if you want to source some picture books about historical events from the library, you can look at your list and say, okay, what do they have for history in this text? And they start with the first Americans and George Washington and the cherry tree. So those are topics that you can then look for more picture books on, or you can read aloud from this text. So that is what Core Knowledge has to offer for preschool. There are books for each individual grade level. So there'll be a kindergarten book that we'll probably get, and then it goes to first grade, second grade, third grade. So nice reference for your bookshelf. You can cite material that you're using to whomever legal people that you need to, or if you need to report what you're doing for your homeschool, this is a nice source text that you can have on hand. So this is a book that I've been using more as of late as an awesome reference, and it is The Well-Trained Mind. I have really enjoyed The Well-Trained Mind. This is a neoclassical homeschooling philosophy, right? So it has the trivium based section. So your grammar stage is like there's elementary years, your logic stage is more of those middle school years, and your rhetoric stage is more of those high school years. It breaks it down. You go through these cycles. Let's see what else comes to mind when I think about The Well-Trained Mind. History is broken down in a chronological way. You go through sections of history at a time. This source is very neat because this is like $40 maybe if you buy it new. Don't quote me on that, but you can get it secondhand as well. I think I bought this one new. It's the newer version. But this goes through 12th grade. So you have references for literature, math, curriculum, and the like that will serve you for a very long time. There are lists of people, historical figures, and biographies that you can research and learn about more with your student. There are sample schedules. One unique thing about this text, other than that, it covers K-12, whereas this one is just for preschool, and thinking about time and how much time I should be spending with my child homeschooling. So they go through each age group. Okay, so let's talk about what The Well-Trained Mind says for your preschool years. The time requirement, or what it's suggesting, is preparation for reading, writing, and math, birth through age 5. Suggests that you start with 10 minutes a day for each subject and gradually increase to about 30 minutes a day by age 5. Reading, writing, math, kindergarten years, ages 4 and 5. Reading, writing, math, and then here are your resources. So here it references a phonics primer. Here are additional practice books, lists of beginning readers, beginning storybooks called early readers, and you can source these from your library. For writing, there is writing curriculum, and there is the handwriting without tears curriculum, and we are currently using that, which is awesome to have that validation. Here is your math guides, math manipulatives, math storybooks if you want to read about math concepts from picture books and things at the library. Science exploration, you have some audiobooks here, and let's see, Peter Pan, Chronicles of Narnia, Winnie the Pooh, Charlotte's Web, we've done that audiobook, and then read a lot of books as a little blurb about that. But then you go into your next stage here, I believe. Let's see. Oh yeah, well here it says spelling, grammar, reading, and writing, time required 60 to 110 minutes per day by 4th grade. You don't have to do the neoclassical method to value from this text. Okay, and lastly, and I'll put the link in the description box below, that is Ambleside Online, and that is an online Charlotte Mason resource that you can access. I think they have paid consultation and have folks work with you, but there is a free resource that goes by age group as well. You can look at and break down what it suggests with subjects and things like that. So it's a Charlotte Mason style homeschooling curriculum resource. Well-trained mind is neoclassical, but your preschooler needs to know it's by core knowledge. So there you go. There are a few resources for your bookshelf that might help in explaining your curriculum choices to other parents and people. Solid references for reporting to any state associations that you need to. And so I hope those are helpful. And then can get your wheels turning for planning your own curriculum more independently. If you have any more comments or questions, leave them in the description box or the question box below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if content like this is helpful for you. But what I really love about this is that they give you a lot of source information. So going through, what biographies can or could a student go through, work through at this age or this age or this age. They give you the list of names of biographies of people in history. They give you a lot of sources to work from. So again, you don't have to go with the neoclassical method of homeschooling to get something out of this text. It's relatively inexpensive, in my opinion, for the amount of content that's in here. It's probably about $40, but it gives you sources through 12th grade. Some schedules, which can be really helpful in referencing as a new homeschooler what in this philosophy, in this method, homeschool looks like, which can be helpful and beneficial for you to see. So for example, 1st grade, they say for reading skills, 15 to 20 minutes per day of phonics work. Introduce 30-minute periods of reading, 3 days per week, reading at all 3 levels instructional at level below level each week. And they have a section for reading literature, spelling, grammar, and writing. The history eras and how the classical, neoclassical homeschool method studies history, which is in chronological order, starting with ancients and then medieval, early Renaissance, late Renaissance, early modern, and modern. Where I have sectioned off like pre-grammar stage and grammar stage, talks about this much of the book. And then it goes through the logic stage, which is like your middle school, and then your rhetoric stage, which is like your high school. 2 resources that I have on hand, and then a digital resource that I would suggest checking out if you are beginning your homeschooling journey and like just a little bit of hand-holding before you start picking individual curriculums to try out and invest in for your family. Cheers.